Hi, and welcome to the making of portion of Xenoviv. My name is Rich Baker, and I kind of coordinate the Ponderosa High School camp. It's pretty fun. So with that, let's just take a trip through the making of portion of where this all started from.
Rolling.
I gave up on that.
So Xenoviv, where did it start? Last year, coming off of Theme Dead Reckoning, we really had this idea, this concept of killing our old self, and we played with this idea in the verse, actually in Colossians 3, it talks about keep your mind on things above, not on earthly things. And then we get into that whole, your old self, dying to that, and God really put on my heart to really understand and seek out that idea of things above. What does that mean? To set your mind on things above. And a group of us got together and we started praying about where does God want us to go with this, and we came up with this idea of citizenship, this concept of citizenship, and really cool things. And out of that came this concept of Xenoviv. It's a word we kind of made up. It's Latin and Greek. Greek is the Xeno part, which means stranger, and Viv is the Latin part, which means to live. And so again, it's to live as a stranger on this earth. And I'm not sure if we could do that, put them together or not, but we did. And we did script after script after script, and just for some reason it wasn't coming together exactly what we hoped for. And then about in February, we handed it over to Darren McWaters, who's in charge of our Joshua Wilderness program, and he put the final touches on it, and just amazing. The script popped out to something even more than I hoped for. So it was really cool. With that, then we started looking at film locations, and the first location that we're really going to see is down in the mine, and that was a hard location to find. Different ideas, different concepts that we wanted to go for, and God ended up closing certain doors, and he ended up bringing us down into a cave over at Sutter Creek Gold Mine near Sacramento area. Sutter Creek Gold Mine. When you guys get this, I know you'll get a copy of it. Thanks so much for letting us come down there. We had a blast getting to know you guys. It was fun. With that is we had different time schedules that they worked out with us. They, of course, are a touring company. Check them out. They're fun. It's a fun place to come and check out. They got gold down there still. And so they have a lot of tours going on. And in the midst of the tours, that's when we get in there. We set up really quick, shoot a couple of scenes, and we tear down again. So we were really balancing just the times around them, and then they were amazing in actually cutting off some tours for us. We were down in the midst of the tours, just in the I'd say, I think it was half a mile or something like that, 1,000 feet underground. I'm not sure exactly how it all works, but I'll tell you what, it's definitely dark down there without a lot of light. So of course this wouldn't have been possible without the cast and crew, amazing people we were working with. So just really quick, here's a quick list. Just huge thank yous to the cast and crew that made this possible. Brian Downs, our director. Of course, we have Todd Watson. Darren McWaters, he's the general, plus he's also the writer.
Michael Strawbridge is Heather.
Rich Baker, play the Jim Elliott character. Chris Walters, he plays Jay Johnson in the video. Clifford Carey, he is our marker guy and, of course, one of the council members. Eric Simpson, he helped out with sound. Jim Huffman, he is one of the council members, and with his wife, Paula Huffman. Anna Mae, our costume designer, and also she was one of the mercs in the desert scene. Heidi Smith, one of our gleaners. Becky Ferreira, we like to call her Beak, she's one of our rangers. Evan Griffin, he's one of our gleaners, also one of our camera guys. Jason Lackey, our prison guard, who has all those scary looks. And also we have Eric, who is actually a part of Sutter Creek Gold Mine staff. He was great. We also had an amazing opportunity to bring some of our Joshua students. TJ was one of the Gleaners on Monday's video that you see. Sarah was a Merc. Catherine was also a Merc. Josh was actually a hunter guy that stabbed me. Man. Luke, Bob, he was really just more of a guard, and I didn't have a lot of lines, but thanks, Luke, for coming out. Grant was also a Gleaner. Joey Williams, lead counselor this summer. He was a point man. His name was Ranger Carey, of course, and Kyle White, our camera guy. He was a ranger and one of our camera guys, and we just like to call him Frodo. Let's go ahead and get this party started. Here we go. The making of. Continue.
Hi, I'm Darren McWaters. And I had a hand in writing and acting in Xenoviv. I'm going to be talking about our experiences down in the mine, which varied between trying not to fall on your face, 1 hour to shoot a crucial scene in the film,
The marker.
the black lung, and so on and so forth. Our first day of shooting began on March 29th, 2004. We headed up north to a little town with a population of around 30 and stayed at a little camp there that didn't hold more than 70 people. We arrived around 2 o'clock at the camp and started getting props painted and fitted for costumes so that we would be ready to shoot at the mine at 4 o'clock that afternoon. We showed up at the mine and proceeded to load everything onto the mine vehicles and descended into the black abyss. We, of course, were very professional and made sure nothing would fall off the vehicle. Once we were in the mine, we set up the scene and props and ran some lines.
It's our home. It's always been our home. It's all we know.
While we were in the mine, we couldn't remove our helmets unless we were acting. So that's the purpose of all the Technicolor helmets. We only shot 2 scenes that night, and one was the jail scene, where Rich Baker does the rabbit song.
My shoe, oh rabbit, whatever should I do?
While Rich did a fabulous job dancing around in his cage, that jail was basically made out of wood and square fencing, and if Rich touched it, the thing would wobble like nobody's business. So we had to stress that neither Rich nor Jason, the guard, not touch the jail.
What are these bars made of anyway? They sure are shiny, whatever they are.
Also, if you look closely at Jason, you'll notice that he is quite dirty on both his clothes and face. That is compliments of TJ McDaniel and fine mine mud. But we were going for authenticity, and our makeup department thought that that idea would be the most convincing. I agree. We had a heck of a time trying to record Rich.
Eric?
No, he is. No, he's not. No, he is. No, he's not. No, he is.
And the idea came up that we should put a microphone in his eyebrows. After many failed attempts, we just resorted to sticking it on his collar. Our final scene was the hunter. And Joshua Elwell had some acting insight for us to the end of our first day in the mine.
How was your experience in your first acting debut on film?
As an actor, you always think you could do better, so of course I'm never satisfied.
So are you saying you're not satisfied?
I mean, as a performer, I don't think it's possible to reach the peak, but I think I'm pretty darn close.
So you're saying you're pretty close to reaching your peak?
That's exactly what I said.
Is that exactly what you said?
Exactly.
Hi, my name is Glenn Smallman. Some of you might remember me from years past. If you've been around Hume Lake for a while, you might remember me as drummer number 2 from the Millennia opener. I had absolutely nothing to do with filming or really even editing Xenoviv whatsoever. So I'm kind of even a little bit confused why they would invite me to explain the making of Xenoviv, Day 2. Previous night, the crew had an especially long work schedule, so they got back late. So Day 2, they gave everybody an opportunity to sleep in and sort of get some rest. And in the morning, ran some lines. One of the most awesome parts about this cast was their attention to detail, their stick-to-itiveness, sort of looking for all the nuances in their lines, never being wearied or deterring from their lines.
I love the taste of blood.
And then had breakfast.
Are you kidding?
And then it was back to the caves for another day of shooting. So back to the mines they went for Monday's shot of the Gleaner scene. We had the Mercs painted. Brian attempted to fly.
Hey, Brian. You know you're never going to fly unless you get another one of those.
I'm not trying to fly. I'm just hovering.
Oh. This is Eric, the faithful mining man. Hey, you know what, Kyle? The camera loves you, baby.
Shut up.
When you're on screen, the whole thing lights up. What's the hardest thing about being a teenage hardcore?
You're seriously not filming this. There's no red on, is there?
What's the hardest thing?
You're not even recording.
Whatever.
Whatever. Are you seriously recording that?
It's hard to be an actress?
Yep, doing that right now.
Your light's blinding me. Is it hard to be a famous actress or no?
Oh, most definitely.
Darren, you're on our court, buddy.
Hey,
Let's
Rich,
film
what's
it.
the hardest part about being a teenage heartthrob? He doesn't know the answer. That's the weird part. But you like this? You have this?
Oh, definitely.
What's your favorite part so far?
Probably the part where this really sticky thing is never going to come off my head.
Oh, yeah.
It's so
Hey.
really creepy when you go like this, Rich. Ready?
Are you embarrassed that they picked you, that you got cast to play the role of the nerds?
It's not nerds, it's mercs.
Oh,
Merkel. This is Merkel.
it appears to be the same thing.
It happens. It appears to not. What?
Huh? You need to use sunscreen. You're gonna be able to use your skin for a
I got
hand.
fried.
Pressure for time, man.
Quiet on the set.
I want you to stop there before you say that line. Say your line there and then walk through. And action.
No, I'm not kidding. It sounded like it came from over here.
What does it sound like? No, hey. You're not your lines.
Sorry.
Here we have a special treat. We get to hear one of the first playbacks of the Merc sounds and of the terror
what it sounds like.
Please tell me you heard that.
I definitely heard it. I can't see anything, but I definitely heard that.
Okay.
What are they doing down there?
What does the word action mean to you? When I think of the word action, I think of sitting around, maybe breathing.
And action.
We had a couple of those last year. Action? What?
That was awesome.
I was like, all right.
Okay. I think it's your line first, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. Just breathe a lot. Good. Check.
They had such a good time filming the council scene, they decided to do it another day. So it was back into the mines tomorrow. And that's it for today. Thanks guys for joining me on day 2 of the Making of Xenoviv.
Hey, my name is Chris Walters, and we're back doing the Making of Xenoviv. Third day in the mine. It's our last day here doing in the Sutter Creek mine. They've been awesome to us. The last day, we had French toast for breakfast. It was the best thing ever, and along with a little box hockey.
Hey, we're having some French toast today! Hot syrup, boy, that's the best. Hot syrup, yogurt. We might even do eggs to order if you're nice.
Do you have this type of breakfast back in Nam?
Back in Nam, we ate breakfast before the sun came up. And we were already in our choppers out fighting the enemy by this time of day. These guys are a bunch of wimps, sleeping in till 7 o'clock, relaxing, going to bed about 6 every night. A bunch of wimps.
Go, kill it! Yeah, get mine, baby. Get at it. Get him out. Come on. It's up, TJ. Come on. Get it out, TJ. Get it out. Get it out.
If you came to winter camp, you'd get this joke. So come to winter camp next time.
Kyle, where are we going?
We're going to the mine.
Hey, we arrived early in the mine. We had to get there before all the tours showed up. They do tours daily, starting at 9 o'clock. So we got there bright and early at 8.
Morning. Just another day at the mine.
We had 1 hour to finish the entire council scene. It was probably the most cram-packed hour of shooting we've ever done, but obviously you guys can see we definitely pulled it off.
We can just buzz it out.
Yeah.
So spilling, bro.
Cue the annoying beeping. Okay. And action.
Gee, I just heard you here. So I really don't know what to do here.
You don't necessarily need to
And so
go
he
down
needs
that
to keep me
fast.
from doing that, because that would be my first tendency.
Well, I guess
natural.
you to wait till I like and then I can start.
Okay. For the marker. And marker.
Take 7.
We had our fair share of good times down in the mine. At one point, we caught the council members getting a little tipsy and showing some mutual affection.
So spilling, bro. And by the end of the same.
Go!
Well, slow down there, General.
I guess I just don't understand.
John's not trying to
Why
get
you're
anybody
not
killed.
willing to discuss this as an option.
There you go. Drink it.
Okay, quiet.
Some shady business going on down there.
12. Jason, don't say.
Wait, Mark.
Take 12.
Okay.
I'm never gonna see it home. But I guess I will now. Or not.
We also shot the scene with Darren and Heather having to do their father-daughter hug. This was really hard for Darren to do.
Gamma team, Heather, James' team. Like that? That looked like what you did.
You gotta look like
Look like I care.
just broke it.
Like I care. You gotta look like.
That's right, Darren.
I so want
I'm
you to
just
be
gonna
mine.
cover my eyes, okay? Then now you can do it. I'm a rag doll. That's much better.
Although it's harder to pull the ear, you actually go for the neck.
Oh.
Oh.
Darren, how's that feel to be father of the year?
Well, it feels good. It feels good. You know, I mean, it's one of those things you don't expect until they give it to you. And
Non-feeling.
yeah.
All right, let's get ready.
Non-feeling. Oh.
Camera's rolling.
He hates me. My dad hates me.
We were definitely privileged to have Rich's home church, First Covenant out of Sacramento, come out and help us out. Thank you guys so much. You guys really helped make that scene really, really powerful. So a lot of love to you guys.
He cried when you didn't fly him.
Now, my friends, there's a different way to live. True allegiance. Joining and turning your backs against this corrupted world.
In the meantime, our regular staff had some time off, and they definitely found things to occupy their time.
Hey, knock that crap off.
I can't hear you. The band is too loud.
You're a bully.
They were doing things like throwing rocks, rapping,
Our names are hide and beak. Some people think we're bricks. We don't care what they think. West side, what?
throwing rocks.
Cliff, Heidi, Rich's parents, Becky.
Letting Kyle kind of justify why he looks like Frodo.
You do kind of look like Frodo.
You know, I take that as a compliment because Frodo has really pretty eyes.
Are you in love with Frodo?
No.
Throwing more rocks.
I bet I could hit him before you.
Shut up.
No, that was me.
Oh yeah, look at the game rovers. Oh, helmet's on! Helmet's on!
After shooting that last scene, we were basically done with everything in Sutter Creek in the mine. We wrapped up our stuff, packed it up. In a couple weeks, we were on our way down to Mojave Desert to hit the pinnacles. Thanks a lot.
This is the part of the making of movie where I got left in a tunnel and I don't know where I'm supposed to be, and I'm scared and I'm afraid that I might not ever find my companions again. I finished all my scenes, and so I have a bit of a feeling that maybe I'm expendable and I don't know what's gonna happen, and I'm scared and what's that?
Hi, my name is Todd Watson. I did a lot of the filming and editing on Xenoviv. We're going to talk a little bit about the desert portions of the Xenoviv out on the surface. All that filming was done at the Trona Pinnacles out in the Mojave Desert. Our location was out in the middle of the desert, 5 miles from a paved road, and probably a half hour from any kind of city or anything. When we first got there, we found a location and started setting up the tent for the filming, and as you can see, there was plenty of wind, and the parachute sure caught a hold of the wind, and we weren't able to set up there the first time.
This is great! Hold on, boys, hold on!
Out of more locations and found kind of more of a hole in the rocks where we were able to set up the tent the next time. Once we were out in the desert, we realized that one of the most important things was water, so we always made sure we had tons of water on hand.
You kidding?
This is water boy.
Now, if you didn't notice, the guns that we used during filming were actually squirt guns that we spray painted and then painted. And as you can see, we actually found a use for them out here in the desert. We were informed when we went to film here that it would cost us $75 per piece of trash per day if we left it out here in the desert. So whenever they found it, that's how much they'd charge you. So we're always watching out to make sure we didn't leave any trash out on location.
We have proof, $30 a day, and how much was it? $200.
And before we went out to go shooting in the desert, we made sure that each of the rangers had some good military training, so they knew how to hide behind rocks and squat and whatnot. Our reflector came in handy to brighten up some of the shots, but we couldn't tell whether it was a reflector or really just a $100 sunshade for your car. It was also very difficult to put back together.
Question? No. Question? No. No. Yes. No. Question? Yeah.
No. That's right. You don't have to answer. You don't have to answer. Question? No. All right.
So are pants getting tighter?
If you watched Dead Reckoning last year, you'll remember that we had some shots of Chris and Rich running through different forest terrain and stuff. This year we decided to make the Rangers come running across the desert. So, being the camera guys, we like to just stand in one place and make them run across the desert and then come running at us. So here's some great footage of them running forever.
those guns. You got a permit for that?
Yeah. Random hair.
I don't want to cook it. I don't want.
One of the things about shooting in this desert in the Mojave was that the wind was something like 40 miles per hour. So all of our audio was really, really distorted with wind. It was pretty hard to hear anything. So we actually, almost all the scenes that we shot, we ended out on an open desert. We had to come back through and overdub their audio. So we brought them back into the video room and made them overdub their audio. So here's some of that stuff.
Beak, there's nothing to think about. Beak, there's nothing to think about. Beak, there's nothing to think about. That all clear. Don't you feel stupid calling in the same thing every hour of every shift all day long?
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing a little behind the scenes of how we made Xenoviv and the parts that we shot in the desert.